Hey YouTube, today we're going to be watching some RLCS replays. So I know yesterday I kept it tame, it had no spoilers. Today is going to be full of spoilers. If you haven't watched any of the RLCS, make sure you go watch that before coming back. But if you have, or maybe the thumbnail already spoiled some for you, the Falcons played FaZe, and right now we are watching game number 3. The two games before this went 1 to FaZe and 1 to the Falcons. So they are tied up 1-1 in the best of 5. We're going to watch the rest of the series from oKhaliD's perspective. Now, this is oKhaliD's very first LAN. If you've been following oKhaliD in the 1v1 scene, maybe you don't follow him as much in the RLCS, but he is a top-level RLCS player, and he has been all season long. But when his team made it to the major in the fall, he was unable to go. I believe it was something school-related, according to the news. And Senzo subbed in for them, and they did well. They got top 8 in that major. Then the second major came around in the U.S. Now, players in the U.S. frequently have troubles with visas to get there, and that was no exception for the Falcons. They couldn't get their visas in time. There were a bunch of casters who just barely got visas in time. They actually ended up doing a bit on the show about the surprise factor that some of them had made it when they thought they weren't going to. But Sandrock, at the time, they were still Sandrock, could not make it. They couldn't get there. Now they're Team Falcons, and all of them, for the very first time, have shown up to play together in London for this major. So TRK is going to pass out to oKhaliD, who plays it slow, as his team looks to try and take the lead. This is the first time we've seen the full Falcons roster since they've been assembled for this season. And if you're going by the timeline, they have not lost yet. They haven't lost. They played Team Liquid in the first round. This is their second round game in the quarterfinal of the upper bracket that happened on the first day. They took Team Liquid down. After losing game 1, they won the next 3, 3-1. And now they're playing FaZe. At this point, tons of top teams have lost. So the winner of this game is likely to be one of the favorites, I would say, going on. Look at Ahmed's shot there. Oh my goodness. 2-1 for the Falcons. Now, oKhaliD has had a pretty good event. A lot of people talking about how TRK and Ahmed might be the players who will dominate for Sandrock. Specifically, TRK gets tons of mention. And oKhaliD has always seemed to be as a third man when somebody was asking about who needs to run the back line for Falcons. It's always oKhaliD that has been brought up. But in this event, he has proven to be just as good, if not better, than some of his teammates. He has had the ice on LAN. And right now, his team up 2-1, looking to put their team up 2-1 in the series as well. Like I said, best of 5, currently tied 1-1. We're going to see how these guys play. I think they're all rocking maybe the same exact Fennec, which I'd love to see. That kind of team coordination. Ahmed and TRK both on the back wall right now. oKhaliD has been playing a little bit of that backline last player so far in this game. It's a position that we see some of our other favorite 1v1ers play, like Daniel. He has no problem, carrying, quote-unquote, carrying the team, even while playing in a more defensive manner from his back corner. Right now, oKhaliD 50 is going to take somebody off the field. Uses all his boost to do so. He doesn't have the back corner to respawn. Notice how he's not crossing very frequently over this front line. He's only going to do so when he feels like he has a good challenge. And actually didn't really have that great of a challenge. First kill, they were able to dunk him away. And then after that demo, a great shot attempt comes. So that's what I was talking about. That challenge not so great. Maybe he would have been better off turning away and not putting the pressure on his teammates to handle that 50. Once again, we see him in the back line, not crossing the midfield line, and instead reacting to the final touch by AJ. First and typical, teaming up to get it past everybody else on the team. But oKhaliD being that final guard to keep it away. Minute left to go for the Falcons. And oKhaliD respawn just drops it straight down to AJ. Obviously, there were more problems in that possession than just that final touch, but hard to react in time. And now, oKhaliD, nice placement. He sees the pre-jumping FaZe player high. He very intentionally Clears it low, not to get it sent immediately back. There's a reason why that FaZe player is pre-jumping. They know that's where clears mostly go. Once again, we see oKhaliD holding at the back, taking his opportunity now, though, to keep the pressure on. Ahmad and TRK resetting. And now back on offense once again. Ahmad taking off the defender. TRK puts them up 3-2. One interesting thing that I noticed, I don't know if you guys have as well, but when these guys play on LAN, their cars frequently drop dead after goals more so than they ever do online. Online, they continue driving around as they celebrate, you know, over comms to their teammates. But in person, they always give fist bumps or like high fives, and so cars will just all drop dead after a goal goes in. It's just kind of interesting that you're not used to seeing. But the Falcons, they take this game at number 3 up 2-1, and we will once again watch from oKhaliD's perspective for game number 4. Game number 4 of the Falcons versus FaZe. What can they do against one of the best that North America has to offer? G2 at this point was unable to hold off Carmine and has already dropped to the lower bracket. So FaZe trying to show that they could take over as that number 1 spot for North America. Mina, they're out here all alone with their region. Double commit here from Ahmad and oKhaliD. Ahmad's going to leave. He did have the outside edge, so oKhaliD would get the 50, and TRK chips it to the top right. So much practice winning those challenges in all the different 1v1 games he's played. He's going to win this one here for an easy chip in. Well, not easy, but easy for TRK. Great touch off the back wall. 50 with another player. TRK does such a good job playing that front man. The net is a bit open. oKhaliD knows better than to try and shoot it. There's tons of FaZe players back. Instead, look to drop it down for Ahmad if Ahmad was close. Wasn't really close enough, so it didn't matter. Still better, I think, than just taking a shot on net. Much more likely to score. Oh my goodness, oKhaliD just beating out 2 FaZe players. Up to Sipgold to get the clear, and he does. It's one of the things about oKhaliD playing a little bit more of a passive role. When he does get these outplays, it's a good chance his teammates might be rotating around and not ready to immediately capitalize on them. oKhaliD looking to clear this into the corner, trying to tap it over the top of AJ. Got it just enough. That was a quick touch by First Killer. Great beat to keep FaZe still here on offense. oKhaliD covering high. His teammates need to cover everything else, but luckily they slowed him down long enough for oKhaliD to get back. I believe, I forget who it was there, but they did a good job pushing through all the players. Oh my goodness, Ahmad. What a nasty reset goal. We'll watch it real quick from Ahmad's perspective, and then we'll hop back to oKhaliD's, because this was just too nice. Oh, 6 boost. 6 boost off the wall. Lands perfectly into the reset. Okay, that was insane. I remember watching that live, but I didn't realize just how little boost he had. The fact that he did that with almost nothing is incredibly impressive. It just shows the mastery that these players have over the mechanics and over, you know, predicting where this ball's going to head. It all came down to timing that flip at the perfect time to make sure he reached the ball. What was the last second save? I mean, a bit of a mistake, I'd say, from the Falcons, leaving that net slightly open. But oKhaliD covers for it, and now he's pre-jumped AJ. He's won the challenge in the air. His team up 2. Half the game left to go. AJ taking him off the map, trying to take another Falcons player off the map. A natural jump was enough to get him out of the way. oKhaliD to read on the backboard once. Waiting for First Killer. He just let this fall in. TRK, luckily, there to get it. I think the FaZe members didn't expect that complete miss. You would have thought they'd be diving down. oKhaliD's not one that's been making frequent mistakes on the back line. TRK flying underneath this ball. You do see a lot of really rushed challenges, I would say, from the Falcons. Not necessarily as a problem. It could just be a team style. Oh, that was almost a potential disaster for FaZe if oKhaliD could have won that 50. But they just are preferring speed and quick plays over accuracy, which results in, even when they're missing, they're forcing their opposition to take the ball into a position that's even easier to stop, as opposed to trying to sit and be a little bit too calculating. Give the opportunity for the opponent to outplay you. Instead, force your will by incredibly early challenges that move the play to favorable positions. Now, Ahmad is dead. TRK, super important backflip, and he's able to get it. Not an easy challenge to win, and one that was going to be the difference between them getting scored on and scoring. They're up 3-0 with a minute 13. Trying to put FaZe away. Immediate kickoff in favor of oKhaliD, but he can't win it directly in. I'm not sure if FaZe were trying to lose that kickoff on purpose. I'm sure they didn't mean to lose it in that fashion, even if they did. Sip, 2 touches, but not good enough ones to really be threatening. You can tell he only has just enough boost back to get a soft touch. Look at that shot from oKhaliD, slotting it top left. Great use of the flip underneath the ball on the diagonal flip to make sure he chipped it up into the air. Not easy to do, especially not easy to slot it as perfectly as he did. 4-0. And the Falcons are looking to put themselves in the semifinals of the upper bracket. I'm at the reset, 50. oKhaliD thought about trying to go for it, but then realized his eyes had gotten way too big. No way he was going to be able to get back into the play from that far away. It's a great pass down. First killer, no choice but to go for it now. AJ is going to lob it up. oKhaliD can't get the beat. But with 14 seconds left to go, the net wide open, FaZe through everybody. And the Falcons get a 12th. The Falcons did make it. By now, you know what I already knew. Of course, I watched all these games live, but the Falcons come back. I believe they lost game 1 in both their series, but then won the next 3. Gentlemen sweeps for everybody in the RLCS, and there's been lots of talk about who's the favorite now. Who's the favorite, since the winners most frequently come from the upper bracket. And I want to say everybody agrees Falcons are the favorite, most likely to win this event now. Somebody winning a LAN at an RLCS major or, Worlds that isn't from NA or EU. It's never happened before. And now we're all sitting here looking at each other saying it's the most likely thing to happen. Now, of course, people were saying that the most likely thing to happen was BDS winning, and they weren't right. So you never know. It might not be as guaranteed as we would expect in the next few days. But one thing that has been pretty consistent and that I've noticed is you never really know going into an event what you're going to see from teams. They could give you a good version of themselves. They can give you a bad version of themselves. But usually, after they've shown you which one they're going to give, they don't change that. So what I mean by that is Falcons are playing well. I think Falcons will keep playing well. There's examples of that in the negative sense. BDS playing poorly in their first round, playing poorly again, and showing that they just were not there, not ready. So usually you don't see complete collapses after already some proof of playing well. But the Falcons have some tough matchups coming forward, but the community thinks they can do it.